Remember that day we met for coffee and you.
What is up, guys? Duazo Designs here with a new video editing tutorial, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of the color correction and color grading kind of tutorial playlist I'm working on. So today is going to be pretty much basic color correction, and if you watched the last video, there'll be a link in the top left or right if you click on it right now if you want to look at the first one, the differences between color correction and color grading. Now after you watch that, you'll see why we'll be doing the basic color correction right now. So right here I have here my spring break video that I'm working on. I'll be releasing kind of soon depending on how much time I have on it, but I'm going to be taking one clip and I'm going to be color correcting this one clip. So to kind of reference the last video, color correction, like I said, was kind of making it flat, making it so you have more information to work with when you color grade your footage. So we're here in Premiere, right? And we have this this clip right here, this sunrise clip. Actually, let's pick a better clip. Mute this. Okay, let's take this clip right here. Oh, actually, I want to do an outdoor clip. Let's take this clip here, okay? So I have a clip here, two of my friends in the back of my truck, right? And we're going to be color correcting this using basic terms. So let's go to the color tab in Premiere here. And this is where I do all my color correction. So the difference between basic and advanced, there'll be two different videos. This one's just covering the basic. And the basic is you're not going to be using any scopes. And what I mean by that is you're not going to be using any of these. So if you don't want to learn what these mean, don't worry, you'll just follow this video. So I said in layman's terms in the last video, making the color correcting a footage, color correcting a clip is making it flat. So to make it flat, you want to first off kind of make it so there's not a lot of contrast. So what I normally do straight off the bat is I look at the image, and if I see if there's kind of portions of pure white, there isn't, but for example, if you turn the exposure all the way up, you can see that some parts of the scene get blown out, and kind of I want to counteract that by bringing it back down. For this clip, you don't really need to, but in other clips, you might. So first thing I would do is turn the contrast down. So you see that immediately it made the image a lot flatter. What I noticed in this image is there's a lot of black. There's a black here in the truck window. There's black, of course, their hair. And it's kind of too black for kind of a flat image. So what I would do is I'd take the blacks here in the lumetri color panel, and I'd bump the blacks up so the blacks become more of a dark gray, darkish gray. And same thing with the shadows here. Now, that's just the kind of lightness and darkness portion of color grading. Now the second portion is the temperature or tint, and this is controlled by these two sliders here. So when I said earlier that you're doing the kind of the luminance or the lightness and darkness of the image, you will probably be working with the tone using these different sliders here. Exposure is the general complete lightness and darkness of the whole image, as contrast is kind of the kind of difference between lightness and darkness in a way, the range. Highlights, when you think of an image, kind of divide the image into 4 different sections. Highlights aren't the pure whites, but the kind of the brighter sections. That's what you're controlling. So for example, this wall right here, it's not pure white, but it's controlled by the highlights. The shadows, it's not pure black, but it's going to be those darker tones. So maybe kind of like the shadows here in the bush, or maybe like some portions of his hair. Whites will be the super, super bright image portions of the image. There isn't a lot here, but if you could see if I adjust that, it's just, like I said, the bright portions. The blacks, like it's just kind of self-explanatory, the darkest portions of the image, so maybe the darkest portions of their hair, maybe the darkest portion of this window. And just play with that till you get a flat looking image. So to give you guys a before and after, this is kind of the image right now, before the raw image, and here's the image after. Now keep in mind, you're not supposed to make the image look nice. The image is supposed to look flat and just plain out crappy. And that, like, that is, to make the image look nice, that's going to be the color grading, which is the next tutorial. So yeah, that's the first portion, the light and darkness. Now the second portion is the temperature and tint, these two sliders here. Now the basic temperature and tint, temperature controls kind of the warmth and coolness of the image. So to show you, if I bring the slider all the way to the left here, it makes the image blue, cool. If I bring it to the right here, it makes the image orange or warm. Now, what you want to do is, you want to kind of take a overall look at the image and see, is the image you have now warm or cool? And the point is, you want to try to get it in the middle ground. You don't want it too warm, you don't want it too cool. And this just takes a lot of practice and a lot of time. You just need to go through a lot of images and say, oh, I think this image is a bit too warm. Oh, I think this image is a bit too cool, and this is how I fix it. So just looking at it playing out here, I think that the image is just too warm. I feel like these skin tones here are just a bit too tan, and the background as well is too tan. So I'm gonna, the adjustments you'll be making here is going to be super minute. So I'm going to be moving it just a little bit down. So it doesn't look like a huge difference, but it's just something you want to do to make every clip consistent. It's all about consistency with color correcting. Now, tint is the green and the magenta of the image. So if an image is too green or magenta, same exact thing. If you think something's too green, push it over to the magenta side. Same thing, magenta, push it over to the green side. In general, I think this is kind of a very slight green image, so I'm going to bring it over to the magenta side a little bit. So right there looks good. And these are just a bunch of small tweaks. Like, you probably didn't even notice the difference when I changed the green and magenta slider, but trust me, overall, if you turn on and off the lumetri color, you could see the major difference it makes. Now, the third and final portion of the color correction is kind of the saturation of certain hues. So let's go to the curves tab here under the lumetri color, and we have the hue and saturation curve. Now basically what this allows you to do is it allows you to pick certain portions of the color wheel, and every color in that portion is affected. So for example, if I want, so let's go into it. Over here, I think this truck here is a bit too red for the image as a whole. It's too vibrant. So what I would do is I'm going to take the pen tool here. You can see if I mouse over this line, there's a pen tool. I'm going to make 3 different points, right? First point is the main color I want to change. So I want to change the red/orange. So that's the middle point. And then I want to go through and pick 2 points on the side. So one in the orange, one in the yellows and one in the purples. And then I'm going to be taking this middle point and I'll be just bringing it down till I find the saturation I find fit. So as an extreme example, bring it all the way down. This is taking all the reds out of the image. If I bring it all the way up, it's boosting the reds in the image. So let's bring this down here. Back to normal. So like I said earlier, I feel like the reds are a bit too vibrant in this truck color here, and maybe a bit in his shirt and skin tone. So I'm going to be taking this and bringing it slightly down, just super slight. The key to color correction is to have consistency. So I said in the last video, color correction is making so all the clips are flat and similar, so that when you color grade it, it'll all be affected the same way. And in the sense, the standard is making a flat image that's has a balanced temperature and tint, and nothing's too saturated. Now, in the next video, we're going to be going over basic color grading.